Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison workshop. I'm Bob. I'm sure everybody already knew that. A little cold in here this morning. I forgot to turn the heat on yesterday. Well, I turned it on and it got too hot in here, so I turned it off and forgot to turn it on last night before I left out of here. But anyway, got the shop tore apart and making preparations for, well, making homes for the two lathes, brake lathes. We're just rearranging some stuff. Now, this is where I'm standing, where the bedroom used to be in this camper, and there was a closet right here. And I've been wanting to take it out and rearrange some stuff, and I think the brake blade, the rotor blades will work fine here. But I wanted to talk about something here real quick before I start showing you what I'm doing. I had to block somebody for harassment yesterday, and I thought it was a little uncalled for. And I have to say, if you're watching any of my videos, have a little respect. You know, my videos are not, or should I say, my videos are for basically geared towards showing people how to do things with the least amount of money. If you can't make it work, make it work. There's always a way to do something in a way that ain't going to cost you a lot of money. Basically, take trash and turn it into a treasure. I'll tell you what happened. Somebody was watching my tool post for my Grizzly lathe video, and he made a comment and said, well, now you got all the tools you need except nail clippers. I'm sorry. I got frickin' red hot right now. If he'd been in front of me, I'd have probably knocked his teeth down his throat. I don't play games like that, man. If you can't talk to me with a little more respect than that, then you don't need to be watching my videos. I'm sorry. You know, you got all these nasty people out in the world having sex with animals and molesting children, and the list just goes on with all the nastiness in the world. If somebody has to focus on one frickin' fingernail, well, let me tell you something. I am 50 years old. I have not needed anybody's permission to have a long fingernail. I've had these two pinky fingernails as long as I can remember. I've never been without them, unless one broke off. I have them for a reason. You see this toolbox right here? These fingernails are no different than any tool in this toolbox. I just happen to wear my tool. This is a tool for me. This is for being able to dig stuff out of small areas. This is for if I'm doing fine line taping to mask something off, I can take that nail and run it right around that line, so that I can take an X-Acto knife and go around it, and it makes it simple for me. So you know, if you've got a problem with my tools, you need to just stop watching right now, because that's exactly what that's for. I don't need nobody's permission. If I want that thing to be 10 feet long, I'll have it 10 feet long, and I don't need nobody to tell me that I'm doing wrong. But, you know, enough of that. I just wanted to mention that. It kind of hit me wrong and I told him that I didn't need his permission, and he just kept on harassing, so I just reported him as spam and blocked him. So, you know, I don't need that kind of people watching my channel. I'm doing these videos for people who have a little common sense and a little respect. So, but anyway, what I've done here, and let me put you over here on the other side. So what I did was, this here was a big long closet that went all the way up, and I don't know why I done this, but I made this bench shorter than this bench. Well, actually, I do know why. It came up to just below that window, and I didn't really want to get rid of the window. I've gotten rid of all the windows in here except for 3 of them, and I'd like to have a little sunlight coming in here, so I kind of try to keep these 3 windows in good shape, and that one's actually a emergency window. So it's good to have an emergency window just in case something god-awful happens. You know, hopefully it never happens, but you know, I got a fire extinguisher on this end of the shop, and I have a fire extinguisher on that end of the shop where the mill is. But what I did, this closet, as you can see, came out to right here, and it went all the way up. You can see the outline of where it used to be, and basically I just took the frame and cut it off here, and then cut this back to match the other cabinets, and then I mounted my light. The light used to be right there over top of the vise, and now it's over here. Now what I plan to do is bring it down here. What I plan to do is, if I can find it here, I'm going to put a bench across here, and I'm going to make it the same height as this one here, all the way up to the window right here. I can't go any higher over here, so I'm just going to stop it right here, and from here over it's going to be the same height as this right here. And so I got to put a 2x4 here to bring it up to where it's the same height, and then I got to put a 2x4 right here. And now this is just a thought right now. I don't know if that's going to happen. I might just bring this on over the same height as this and do the step up here. And the main reason I wanted to make it the same height as this, so I can use 1 sheet of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood or 1/2 inch plywood, and go from here all the way over to the lathe, and also recover the vise table, because what I got here is just old press board. But regardless of how I do this, the plan is to use these bed frames that I had left and put them right in here, wherever it may go to, as a, wait for it, chip tray. And it just so happens that this pan was exactly the same width, and I've got 1/4 inch between, so I'd have 1/8 inch on each side. So I can just take this chip tray and put it underneath there, and I'll have a hole right here for, I'll show you. You have this area right here where all the shavings go from the rotor when you're turning it, and I'll have a hole in the bench so that all I have to do is just take a paintbrush and just kind of rake that stuff over into the chip pan. When the chip pan gets full, I can empty it out. Alright, then once the lathe is set in place, it's going to be sitting right here. That gives me, that lathe is 31 inches wide, which brings me to right here. And once I've got the lathe mounted, this here came with it on the stand that came with the lathe originally. And what this is, if you remember in my last video on the lathe restore, I was putting that arbor in the vise, which is a bad idea. Don't take any information from me on that, because I shouldn't have done that. But I didn't have no choice at the time, and I didn't realize what this was for until I done that. What this does is it'll mount right there on the bench, and you take that shaft and you put it down on there, you load it up, and then you take the whole thing and load it into the lathe. And this clamps down tight, and it didn't dawn on me what it was for until I was talking to my buddy Crafted. By the way, go check his channel out, man. He does, he's got a lot of Atlas lathe videos, and he does some 3D printing and stuff like that. Interesting stuff. But that's what we're doing right now. I'm getting the rotor lathe in place first before I start on the drum lathe. I don't want too many projects going at one time. You know, plus I've got parts coming for my truck. This will be my third try. If it's not the right one, I'm pretty much done with eBay for that part. 3 is a charm, so we'll see if that works out. They haven't shipped it yet. I bought it Friday, or paid for it Friday, and they haven't shipped it out yet. And I got that coming up. And this will give me more wall space. And I had some plastic pieces that I took out of a, if everybody remembers, people who didn't see that, go back and check it out, Hannah's birthday gift. That was somewhere about a year ago I did that, and I had some trays that came out of like a tackle box. And this was just a piece that I had cut off of one of them. And I've got, these are just ideas. I don't know how, I think they'll work just fine, but we'll see. And then I got these long ones. And these were just, like I said, the end pieces that came off of it. And basically what I'm thinking about doing is making these mount to the wall with a hole in them. You know, whatever size screwdriver I'm going to put in it, and just put some screwdrivers down in it, and or pliers or whatever, and see if that will make a nice rack for screwdrivers and stuff. And I've got 2 of the long ones and 2 of the short ones, and hell, the 2 short ones I already got holes to mount them on the wall with. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. Basically, I'll just kind of round that off right there, make it look nice on both sides, and it should be strong enough to hold screwdrivers anyway. But there you have what I'm doing. We'll show a little bit here, a little bit there, and I wasn't prepared to video this, but I thought I'd go ahead and show that, and you know, let y'all see some of the upgrades to the shop. You know, this also opens it up a lot more over here, so it kind of makes it look a little bigger. You know, I've got my Bison right there. I'll have my rotor lathe here. I just restored my other grinder. No, I didn't video it. As you can see, this thing used to be this color right here, and the ugly color, if I may say so. I got to paint that yet. I ain't done with it. And I just masked this off after I wire wheeled it and painted it with black hammered. And then this, I just wire wheeled it till it was down to bare metal, and then I took clear coat and put on it. And to be honest with you, that clear coat wasn't all that great because it's got some browning in it. It kind of gives it a rustic look, I guess. And I've had this grinder going on, I got that grinder back in 2001. 2000 or 2001. So I've had this thing for quite a while, 16 years. And it's been a good one. And I thought it needed a new look. And then we'll take this grinder and I'm going to see, I might have to put this over here on this side somewhere, and I want to put my grinder right there. And yes, that one's going to have a chip tray also. So because there's a curtain behind it, we don't want no sparks burning my curtain up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see about mounting the grinder here, because I want to leave this one here for my wire wheel or wire brushes. I use my wore out one and I use my new one. So I want to keep that. I like the way that works with the wire wheels. And so what we're going to do over here is take, and we're going to put a hole in the back side of it behind the grinder, and then we're going to make a chute that comes in right above the grinder and kind of round down into the hole, so that all the sparks go into the, what we're going to call a spark arrestor, and it will shoot the sparks down the chute into the hole and into a chip tray that I'm going to make a slide for to slide underneath here. So this is basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a chip tray that goes in there just like that. So I think that'll work just fine. And then whatever chip tray space I have here, the rest of this down here, I'll take the original closet door, cut it down to wherever it comes to, and remount it, and then we'll have a door with some stuff down underneath here, and we'll have these two compartments, the closet or the cabinet part and the chip tray, separated with plywood. That way any dust that gets past the chip pan by accident or whatever, it'll stay contained to that area. So then all I have to do is just take a vacuum cleaner and just my shop vac and go in there and just vacuum it up. And I think that's just about it for the explanation. I got plenty of wall space over here now, so I've opened up some wall space. I've got this original light that used to be there. It used to be one of these right here, and I hate those things. For one thing, these shades collect dust. And yeah, they give off a nice little light, but it really isn't practical. So that one's going to go out too. I'm going to use that for outlets. So I'll just take this light out and it will look just like that. And basically all I got to do is take and make an adapter to go over top of this that will hold an outlet, and then I'll have to make a special outlet cover for it. And basically I just gained myself a 110 outlet. So I'll have that as an outlet for this light and whatever else I want to plug into, and then I've got that outlet right down there, and then I've got that outlet right there. So it's a work in progress, and I hate that I have my shop tore apart like this. I mean, I've got stuff everywhere, man, and there was a lot of stuff in that closet. As you can see, I've got it all right there, piled up on my new bench. That's where the drum machine's going to go. And then I've got stuff all over the doctor bench. And then I've got the lathe over there. And then I've got a bunch of stuff all over there on the mill. So it's all about organizing. So I'm going to stop right now and we'll go to the next step. Alright guys, we've gotten to the point where I got the bench on it, and it's pretty solid, and I had to do the step up. I didn't want to do it, but I had to, simply because I was not going to rip all this out and start over. I've got my chip tray in there with the bottom, so that anything that gets out of the chip tray goes in the bottom. I took and shortened the cabinet door, or the closet door, and put that in there. And I think what I'll end up doing is, once I've got the lathe there, I've got the hole here for the chips to go down in. I can brush them down in there. And I think I'm just going to mount that thing right there, just like so. And then my grinder will go right here. I might be able to move this over a little bit, I don't know, we'll see. And then I can put my grinder here with another chip tray underneath it. So I'm probably not going to cover it right now, simply because I need to get that lathe over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in place once I've got everything in place, and I'll get the materials to finish this up by coating it like I did the other bench. I just don't have enough of that aluminum flashing, and I ain't feeling too good today, guys. I don't know if I can't seem to get the doctors to figure out what's going on. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna ask you guys. As y'all know, I had the GERD surgery done. Then I had the gallbladder surgery done. And ever since that gallbladder surgery, I ain't felt right. Every time I eat, I get a pain right here, and it feels like there's something in my throat that keeps pushing, and it's right here, and it just feels like it's pushing up all the time, constantly, 24/7. I keep getting dizzy. Burping really bad, and something just ain't right, and they're not finding anything wrong. But I ain't felt good since that gallbladder surgery. And I thought maybe when I first come out of the surgery that it was just healing, you know. I figured it'd take a month to get healed up. But man, I've watched people, you know, reviews on YouTube about the GERD surgery. Hell, they healed up in a week and was out and about and doing their thing and having a happy old time. Not me, man. I ain't felt right since. And it's starting to reflect on my work. I'm shaking like a leaf and sick to my stomach all the time, dizzy. If you guys have heard of anything like that and y'all got any ideas what could be happening, man, let me know. Because this is getting ridiculous. I'm about ready to go to the emergency room. But anyway, basically all I got left to do here is to clean all my cabinet or my counter off, and wait for the old lady to get up, and we'll move that lathe over here. I ain't looking forward to it, man, because that thing ain't light. Alright guys, we've got it in place. As you can see how this works. You load it up. You just set that down in there. Tighten that. Just like that. You load it up. You loosen it up. You stick it in. And I can take and rake my dust off into the hole. So now the only thing left to do is put my 4 or 3 bolts in it to hold it down. And I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this for a while. Try it out. And you know, I've done made a place for it. Might as well keep it and use it. And I know it's awful to say. I hope I don't get a whole hell of a lot of rotors. If I get very few, I'll just have to charge them an arm and a leg. That way it takes care of everything. But there you have the grinder in place. See, that thing sounds just as good as it did the day I got it. It's weird though. This grinder has no way for air to circulate. It's an enclosed motor. There's no vents whatsoever on this grinder. But I think that'll work fine right there. I can make me a pedestal here for the grinding disc. I'll have a rough one on one side and a fine one on the other. And then I'll have my spark arrestor that shoots down. And I think it'll work, guys. So I got plenty of room for it. It's right next to the lathe. And it's going to look really good. So you guys have a good one. Later.